When I started creating this project, I put in mind to make our book schema is very simple. So I started with only book name and count in stock and price. Then I added the price. But now I want to make some changes in our schema here. First, let's format our code. So let's press here format document. Second, let's add some enhancement to this field. For example, this required is true. We want to add a message. So if you want to add a message, put this true inside an array and add your message here. For example, book name is required, like this. And also we can add to it min length, like this, to make the min, for example, 5 characters. So if you try to add a book with characters less than 5 characters, it will not be acceptable. So let's go, for example, to Postman and try to add a new request here. Let's, for example, name it with only n and press send. Look, book validation, book name length 1 is shorter than the minimum allowed length. The minimum allowed length is 5. And if you want to add a proper message or a good message better than this, you can do as we've done previously. Put it inside an array and add here book name must be at least 5 characters long, like this. Now let's try to test again. Look, book name must be at least 5 characters long. Also, you can add max length. So max length, you can make it 50. And also you can add some message here. For example, book name cannot exceed 100 characters. Since we put here 100, let's put here also 100. So if you try to add a book name with more than 100 characters, it's not gonna be allowed. Now for count in stock, the type of it is a number and it's required. Let's add a message here. So stock count is required and the min is gonna be 0 or 1 at least. And the message is gonna be stock count cannot be less than 1. And the max is gonna be 255. And the message is gonna be stock cannot exceed 255. Here, because the type is string, we use min length and max length. And here, since the type is a number, we use min and max and pass here numbers. So now let's try to add something with count in stock is 0. So here in Postman, let's make the count in stock 0. And let's try to send this request. Look, let's increase the book name, for example, Node.js, and press send. Look, stock count cannot be less than 1. If you make the stock, for example, 400, look, cannot exceed 255. Now the price also, we want to add some rules for the price. I want you to pass the video and to do it as a task. I want you to do the following. First thing, the price, it should be true and add a message for it that tells the user price is required and make the min is $1 and the max is $10,000 with messages. Now pause the video and try to do it. Great job, you did it. Here I just added required with price is required. This is the message and the min is $1 and the max is $10,000. Now we want to add another property. It's the date created. So here we're gonna add a new property, date created, or you can name it created add. The name is up to you. And the type of it is date. And the default is gonna be date.now, like this. Now let's try to add a new bug. The count in stock, let's make it 100 and the price is 40. Now let's try to send this request. Look what we got. We got here date created as 1 September 2025. It's the date of now. One last thing we need to add is an image URL for the bug. So we're gonna add image and the type of image is gonna be string because it's an image URL. The default value, we're gonna make it image string. You can also use regex to validate the input. For example, we can add validate this property and inside it we're gonna add validator, and this validator take a function, and if we don't have any value, we're gonna just return true because it's not required. This image URL is not required. Else, we're gonna return this regex. So return HTTPS. We're going to just add this regex.test. .test. And add with the validator a message. This message is gonna be image must be a valid URL. This code here is a regex code. You can search about it. This is to test if the value the user entered is a valid image URL or not. For example, let me test. If you add here the image, the key was image. If you put here not valid URL, for example, anything, and press send, look, image must be a valid URL. But if you got a valid URL from the web, for example, let's take an image from Google Images. So here, let's search for image. Let's take any image, for example, this image. Let's copy the URL of it and paste it in Postman. Now, if you press send, look, the new book is created with this image URL.